How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, I'm glad you made it here. But in today's video, we are heading back to the beautiful state of Colorado to do some riding. This was by far my favorite area of the trip, just everything about the whole atmosphere. This is pretty much my definition of heaven on earth, and that is Taylor Park, in the midst of the beautiful Gunnison National Forest. If I had to sum my expectations of Colorado up with one area, it is this area. All of the lush forests and rock faces and all of the pine trees and flowing water everywhere you turn your head. This was by far my favorite place to be. So I'll be here to guide you through the ride. Let's get right to it.
That's a good one.
I've seen two trails back there off the bridge. That's the other one.
So picking up where we left off in the last video, we were met with this beautiful lake at the trailhead. To me, this is really what Colorado is all about.
Holy shit, that's a cool picture.
I'm taking lunch.
So after we filled our guts, it was time to start making our way up the mountain.
And he's having bike issues.
When we were eating lunch, we saw a couple Honda riders make their way past us, and sure enough, as soon as we started making our way up the trail, we came across them and they were struggling.
Alright, shit stuck with that.
Your throttle?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's in the car because I took this all apart and it's fine, but I can't get the carb open because I don't have anything.
Ning!
Drop it. You try choking it.
Huh?
Hold the choke so it knocks it down, and then try playing with the throttle and see if it'll come back. If not, your slide's probably stuck.
This kid on the CR250 said his carb was sticking, and I believe he had Electron. I would imagine that some dirt got in the carb and caused the slide to start sticking, but this really wasn't the best environment to be cleaning a carb. So Sam recommended to just flip the choke on and get the hell out of there, because they really weren't too far from civilization at this point.
Rocky in spots. Yeah. We started at the reservoir and are making the loop. It's like 86 miles. Wow. Good luck, guys.
As you can hear, it was running all right with the choke up, so I'd imagine they made it back to home base. But now, let the fun begin. Let's start making our way up this mountain. As you can see, there's a lot of these small rocks on this single track, and obviously these trails have gotten wider over time, so you are able to pick a few different lines to kind of navigate your way between some of those rocks. A lot of these rocky sections, you just want to stand up, lean back a little bit, and just push onward. It had been raining on and off, so as you can see, these trails are pretty wet. Honestly, it's kind of nice sometimes to not have a bunch of dust in your face when you're following people. carrying momentum is the biggest thing with this type of riding in general.
butt rock sucks.
Yeah,
Woo!
that'll wear you out.
Oh yeah. Quickly too.
Yeah,
I'm glad you don't spin the back tire.
I try not
Been
to.
covered in mud.
Yeah,
That's my fault for being too close. I'm bogged down so bad.
yeah, I gotta click first.
I have to hit first, otherwise it'll stall. Yeah, if I hit second, it's bull.
Yep,
Otherwise, I have to bang the clutch.
yep. I thought that was a cave for a second.
Hit the cave first!
Yeah, find some bears inside.
Can we get to the smooth part? Damn.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. You good, Lee?
Yeah, I'm good.
And we're on our way up too, so it's only gonna just stay constant like this.
Hell yeah.
Like Sam just said, everything was pretty wet, so that made the rocks really slick. I personally enjoyed the challenge, but it was definitely exhausting.
That is a gnarly one.
Man, I just love battling up a section like that, picking the perfect line and just sending it straight through. We were pretty high in elevation here and we were making a steady climb up this mountain. As always, it's really hard to tell elevation on GoPro, but regardless of what bike you're on, it's gonna be down on power. There were some nice open flowy sections as well where you can bump it up to third, even fourth gear at sometimes and just float. Looking off to the right there, that's a pretty steep drop. I really wish I had a better way to show you the landscape. I know I've had a few comments about it, but the reason that I don't like to use the stabilized cameras is it just doesn't help with doing these trails any justice. I mean, the GoPro itself with the wide angle flattens everything, and then you add stabilization and everything just looks buttery smooth. I just like how you get a sense of how rough some of these sections are with the camera shaking, because that's just my helmet, you know, it's fixed to my helmet, so my head's just bobbing all over the place, and it really gives you a sense of how rocky and rugged these trails are.
Holy crap, civilization. It's probably the road I came in on, honestly.
Ooh, my stomach is boiling.
Just hanging off the back. There you go.
Fucking dinosaur. Nice.
We were really surprised to come across this road. It was crazy just coming across a beautifully paved road when we were just out in the wilderness. But that really just shows the diversity of Colorado. Mr. Sam Brunton in the front. He is on a TE 300i. Definitely one of my favorite bikes in the group. We had Slobodan behind me at times on his Sherco 300, another great bike. And then Lee in the back on his Beta 300RR. Both Sam and I's bikes are counterbalanced, and I can't stress it enough how big of a difference it really is. All the guys that have the non-counterbalanced bikes will come up with every excuse on why it doesn't bother them, this, that, and the other, but I've rode them all, and it is a world of difference. Counterbalanced two-strokes are buttery smooth, and it really shows on these longer rides. Like when I test rode them in the past, it wasn't a big deal just because I would only be on the bike for like 15-20 minutes, but when you're out here riding 50-60 miles in a day, you're really gonna feel it at the end of the day in your hands. Unfortunately, Steve and Levi didn't make the entire trip. Levi was on the 450 that was having the clutch issue, and Steve had hurt his ribs pretty bad. So it was up to us on the two strokes to enjoy the rest of the trip. And I was on the lowest CC bike of the trip. I was the only 250 out there. I'll do a video soon on my thoughts about the 250. You know, I've owned it for a while now. I've racked up countless hours. And I want to give you my honest thoughts on how I feel about the 250 versus the 300.
Wet single track. Good times.
My hand! I gotta get some footage here.
Yeah, you do.
GoPro, turn off.
Just look at the scenery, just riding across this creek here, all of the lush pine trees in this forest.
No doubt, baby, yeah!
I could do this every day for the rest of my life. Another thing that's hard to tell on GoPro is speed, and you just have to pay attention to the trees. Once you get close and they move past the camera, that's when you can kind of gauge the speed. In the future, I'm going to change things up quite a bit and get multiple camera angles, mount different GoPros in different locations on the bike. Like, I wish I would have got some shots of the front suspension working, even the rear for that matter, just to show how brutal this stuff is on these bikes. I have mine set up super soft for now, and that worked out perfect on this trip. After doing that race, it definitely made me want to tighten it up a bit, because the faster you go and the faster you're hitting objects, I did bottom it out a few times. So I'd like to get it set up the best that I can for my weight with the stock internals. I'm not a professional rider, so if I can get it close to something that works for me, I'll be happy with that. These 2018s especially come with an awesome suspension setup, so I just need to turn the clickers up a bit and stiffen some things up. But that is going to wrap things up for this video. If you would want to see a little bit longer of a video, like 25-30 minutes, let me know down in the comments below, but I don't want to draw these things out too long. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this format of me sitting behind the camera and kind of narrating the ride. Obviously, it's hard to do in the moment when you're working so hard and breathing, and especially like in this video, I didn't have my mic hooked up because I had some audio issues. But if you enjoyed this style, let me know. Once again, this was in Taylor Park, Colorado. I was not the navigator, so I have no idea what trail this was. If you're a local and want to share that in the comments, feel free. But I will have one more video from this location, and then we're changing it up completely, taking a 180-degree turn and headed to the desert. But I'm happy to be back uploading some dirt bike content. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss out. And until Sunday's live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, let's hang out, have some fun, answer some questions. Tune in, and I'll see you then.